What's going on, folks? It's your boy again, Dr. Sean Thomas here, episode 99 of the Be More Today show. We are back in the building. And folks, 99 problems, but a podcast ain't one. We've had 99 episodes where I have shown you so many amazing people who've done so many amazing things. I know we say ordinary, but to be honest, there are amazing people who have done so many amazing things. And over the last 3 years, this show now in season 3 has grown, has trended, has expanded all the boundaries, right? So many countries, 20,000 downloads, 63 countries. It's amazing the number of people who have been touched by the Be More Today show. And I gotta just say thank you for your love, your support, your patience with me as I've grown during this thing, and I've learned so many things about myself during this process, and about podcasting, and about Be More Today, and what that means to me, and what it means to you. And today's show is a little different. You know, we're about to hit our 100th episode, but I wanted to talk about Project 40 more, which is, well, actually, we call it Project 40 Mo, which is going down August 1st. Now, for those of you who joined us earlier this year, we did a challenge in January, and it was called Project 40. And based on my book, the Be More Today book, which is again on Amazon, it's on our webpage for Be More Today. And it's 40 days of fitness and focus, if you will, based on my book. And it was a great challenge that we did in January. We set goals for our self-greatness, things you want to start doing, stop doing, and goals for our lives. And many of us hit those things in stride as the year went on. But now that we're in July, it's going to be August, I know that many of you have fallen off the wagon, including myself. And today's quote is simple, by Joyce C. Locke, saying, "Build upon strengths, and weaknesses will gradually take care of themselves." This is the season for us to focus on our strong points. Because I recognize in my 41 years of life on this earth, that there are many weaknesses that are a part of who I am. And I can't always cater to those things. I can't always work on those things. I can't always circumvent those things, because they are just a part of who I am. These last 41 years of my life, I've worked on getting stronger at certain things, but there are just some weaknesses that I just can't get over. But if you build upon strengths and weaknesses, right, the weaknesses will gradually take care of themselves. If I'm stronger at doing something, whether I have a weakness that is something that I know how to handle or not, the strength will overpower that thing. The strength will give me my outlet. The strength will give me my extra boost to overcome that weakness. We talk about it all the time when it comes to physical therapy, right? Some of us have ailments that we've been battling with for years, whether it's arthritis or a propensity towards someone who is very, very strong, but they're not very flexible, right? You can do certain things to work on the flexibility, but you can also work on your strength, right? And if you work on things to be stronger in certain aspects, sometimes you can overcome those weaknesses by overcompensating. Now, not always the best thing to do that, right, in terms of overcompensating, but I do believe that in the race of life, if there are certain things that you just can't overcome, you find ways around that thing. You find ways over it, under it, through it, etc. And someone who may have a weakness when it comes to maybe a trait of laziness, or someone who has a hard time with follow through, or someone who has a hard time having more confidence in themselves. Those are all things that we can consider as weaknesses. So our strengths, right? Building confidence, building a rapport for, building self-worth, working on our physical strength and our mental strength, working on our follow through, those things to overcome our weaknesses, and the weaknesses will gradually take care of themselves. That's my quote for today by Joyce Locke. And I truly believe that all of us had great intentions as the year started off in 2022. But as time goes on and work goes on and school goes on and family goes on and wars have gone on and everything else, we get jaded. And the whole purpose of Project 40 Mo is to take 40 more days of fitness and focus and to put that back into play as we now are going to be entering the last quarter of 2022. So it's a little push to get you through the summer month and to get you ready for the last 3 months slash 4 months of this year. And for those of you who remember from Project 40, right, we talked about the trans-theoretical model of change, which is basically pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and termination. Those are the stages that we went through our 40 days to basically build our foundation for our starts, our stops, and our goals, our what I call steps to greatness. Now, there are some limitations with this model, right? And this model, again, is considered something that we use in theory for public health and other things, but there are limitations, such as the following. The theory ignores the social context in which change can occur, right? Sometimes you might not have enough money to go out there and do certain things because money can be a limitation. Sometimes your environment may also dictate something you can and cannot do. But for the most part, some of these things and most of these things are obtainable. Other changes can be the lines between the stages can be arbitrary, as in the line between pre-contemplation and contemplation, although I outlined it in my book, there are no real lines for when you go from one phase to the other. Now, we outlined it in a way that you can progress yourself through these stages, but a lot of these things can happen from day one to day two, or they may take weeks for you to get from the maintenance for the action phase to the maintenance phase, or from the pre-contemplation to the contemplation phase. So it is all based on who you are, your temperament, and what's going on with you. The third is that there's no real clear sense of how much time is needed for each stage. Now, I did it in 40 days, right? We did this book based on 40 days, and the 40-day journey was set based on that. But for some of you, whether you read my book or not, you may recognize that, look, I ran through all 40 days of that book and I was done in a day, but I still feel like I'm at stage one. Or you say, you know what, Sean, I'm still reading your book. I know it was 40 days, but it's been 40 weeks for me to get through these phases. And I'm still just going through and trying to figure out what I'm doing. And the last limitation I've seen is that the model assumes that individuals make coherent and logical plans in the decision-making processes when this is not always true, right? I mean, we wrote in there steps to greatness and things they want you to do and not do and whatever else. But some people have a hard time making coherent decisions based on those things. You know, we may have said, okay, now we're moving on to day number 15, but some of you were still stuck at day number 1. So as we're looking now at Project 40 More, or 40 Mo, right? We're looking now at ways to incorporate these limitations to be more consistent for these next 40 days. And I've talked about this in previous episodes, but, you know, 40 is a big number in terms of health. In the area of extreme sports and hyper fitness, it's easy to forget that simply exercising for 40 minutes a day can have a huge impact on your overall health. If you want to train for an Everest climb or Ironman triathlon, fine. But it really requires only a simple daily exercise routine for your body to realize substantial health benefits. Whether your 40 minutes daily is a brisk aerobic walk, a lively set of singles tennis, or several minutes of running for a mile or walking for a mile, swimming quietly, you know, whatever it is, some time on the treadmill is better than no time on the treadmill. And you can always manage to do everything from lower your blood pressure and cholesterol to preventing chronic conditions like heart disease and stroke. Now, here are a few simple reasons why Project 40 Mo is something that you should sign up for and why it's going to be beneficial for your health. Number one, it will help to bring your weight under control. Now, obviously, diet plays a role, right? And some of us have a hard time just getting into a routine, but we've seen that consistent activity, even moderate activities for on most days of the week, can help to lower and control our body weight. It can also help to increase our metabolism. And no matter how old you are, exercise, as we've seen, can help. Now, there are other factors, of course, that make it more difficult, but exercise in general can help to at least maintain and lower our weight gain. And that's the first reason I think that someone out there needs to go out here and do this challenge. Number two, to avoid type 2 diabetes. It is directly linked to being overweight and obese. Now, we know lower rates of what is known as metabolic syndrome, which I've talked about on the show. And I've had Dr. Fredericks, who was on our last episode, 98, talk about that as well. High blood sugar and triglycerides, low good cholesterol, and elevated blood pressure, and too much fat around the waistline, right? They've all been linked with a lack of exercise and can be reduced by having daily exercise. Number three, to build stronger bones and muscles, right? The loss of bone density as you age is something that can be helped by daily aerobic physical activity that uses your musculoskeletal system. A lower risk of hip fractures is but one health condition that research has traced to moderate intensity exercise on a daily basis. So, you want to be stronger, you want to build those bones a little better, this challenge is for you. Number four, it lessens the effects of arthritis. Now, we know that movement is the best medicine, right? We can talk about Voltaren, and we can talk about all the other things that we take, turmeric and whatever else work on arthritis. But when it comes to arthritic changes, low intensity movements are the best to reduce the arthritic changes and to decrease the stiffness that happens with it. So don't stop moving. That's because regular daily activities and daily exercise, aerobic, but low impact, can help to manage the discomforts of joint pain. I see it every single day at my job. So I encourage you, for those of you who are battling with arthritic changes, this challenge is for you. Number five, it makes you smarter. Seriously, regular daily exercise can double the number of brain cells your brain normally produces. Now, we produce new brain cells over our entire lives, but this increases the size of the hippocampus, the area of the brain linked to both learning and memory. So if you want to be smarter, you want to be most smarter, you better do Project 40 Mo, okay? It can boost your mood. Now, I am a huge supporter of this because there are days where I'm just like, I don't want to get up. I do a 5 or a 6 o'clock workout on Mondays and Wednesdays for the community, part of JAG 1 physical therapy, and I Be More Today collaboration. And there's some days where I'm just like, I don't want to get up. I'm not ready to get up. I'm not even prepared enough to be here to do this. I'm tired. I'm fatigued. I'm grumpy. And I get in that gym and we start playing that music and we start doing movement, man, it just boosts my mood. And anyone who's ever walked around a block for a crisp sunny day or on a fall day and knows what that feels like, physical activity makes you feel good. It's a natural mood enhancer. And related research also shows that daily physical activity lessens your chances of developing depression, insomnia, and dementia. So for those of you who have a history of dementia, a history of insomnia, you cannot go to sleep, or depression may be in your family line or even in your line right now, this challenge is for you. Number 7, you can sidestep a heart attack. The 2 leading causes of death in the US are heart disease and stroke. Now, moderate intensity physical activity has been linked to a lower risk of both of these conditions. The lowering of blood pressure and cholesterol levels is likely a big part of this relationship. So, for those of you on the cusp of having heart issues, heart attacks, right, strokes, all those kind of things, this challenge 40 more is for you. And lastly, longevity. There are various things that researchers in longevity and living longer have pinpointed as contributing to longevity. The adoption of extremely low calorie diets, which is not really recommended, but people do it, right? A daily lifestyle based on routine and other things, but few things have as direct a positive effect on wellness as moving more. Studies have linked moderate intensity aerobic exercises as significantly contributing factor to lessening the chances of early death. So you want to live longer. You want to have a better mood. You want to sidestep a heart attack. You want to be a little smarter, lessen your arthritis, build stronger bones, avoid type 2 diabetes, and work on controlling that weight. Project 40 Mo is for you. So you say, Sean, how do I sign up for this thing, right? Where do I go? BeMoreToday.com has your information for that. Go to our site, BeMoreToday.com, and click on Project 40 right now. I want you to sign up. I want you to sign up. The race for everyone is $29.99. You go on the race site, you get a free water or a water bottle that you pay for, clearly, that I send to you in the mail. There'll be workouts that we'll be doing on Zoom on Mondays, every Monday in the month of August and the first week of September. And if you do want to join me in person for that as well, you can join me in person for that at my job, Jaguar Physical Therapy, at the Georgetown office. We're going to be there on Mondays doing the Zoom workouts. And I'll put the Zoom workout information in the show notes. And on Wednesdays, we'll be also there again doing in-person workouts, not on Zoom, but also in person again. So that's 2 opportunities a week for you to join us and do workouts activities. There's also a running club that we're connected with, Spartan Sunners Running Club. We are powered by them for this challenge as well. We're doing a group run with them actually at the end of the month, which is going to be August 28th. Will be a run that we're going to have in South Brooklyn. We can do it virtually or in South Brooklyn with us, and that's going to be an 8 to 10 mile run. So if you do want to join us for that run as well, all things just to keep moving and keep focused on the bigger goal, which is to be intense and to be intimately focused on your diligence for 40 days of moderate activity, making sure you can get through these things and feel better after this challenge. That's the whole goal. And, Be More Today is really about that building of strength to overcome our weaknesses. This challenge is going to be that. So whether you're a Jaguar employee who's joining us for this corporate challenge, or a Be More Today fan or subscriber who's joining us, or a Spartan Sunday Running Club member who's joining us for this challenge as well, this challenge is going to be for you. And you can run, you can bike, you can swim, you can do karate, you can do your dance stuff, whatever it is. It's 40 minutes of moderate activity. Now, what it cannot be is you just sitting here and, you're clocking your walk to the corner store and back. No, because you were going there anyway. That doesn't count. It has to be something that you are intentionally doing for moderate activity for 40 minutes. Now, 40 minutes is just the minimum, right? 40 minutes is the minimum that we're looking for everyone to do. I would love people to do an hour, right? To get the time for this thing. But I recognize that people have lives, people have children, they have families, they have jobs, they have stuff they have to do. So if you can just do the 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes a day for 40 days straight, I'm proud of you for that, because that by itself will be enough to get you through. And I gotta say, as we've done this challenge in January of this year already, there's been so much success and momentum that comes from that. Because once you start moving and grooving, you're going to see already that you're going to want to do more and finish the year off stronger. And that's the goal. 26 hours is the minimum, right? So if you say, you know what, Sean, I went out there and I did my 40 minutes one day and I was only able to do 40 minutes on Monday and Wednesday, I missed Tuesday, fine. You can make that day up by doing 80 on the next day, right? But it's all about consistency. So I would love for you to be consistent and do 40 minutes every single day. But if you miss a day, listen, trying to hit that goal of the hours, right? The 26 hours for the 40 days is sufficient. I would love to see 40 hours. But anything that you're doing is going to be more than what you're doing now. And that's the whole point. I need you to be more. So how's it going to work? You go on BeMoreToday.com, you click on Project 40, or you can check out the Run Sign Up website and look for Project 40 Mo. And you sign up. You sign up, you pay your fee. If you're out there and you're part of a corporate entity like Jag1 that has a discount code, or Spartan Sunners Running Club, use that code to get in there and you're in. And then for the next 40 days, your job is to do whatever you're doing, whether you're out there doing things on your iWatch, or if you're like me, you have a Garmin, or whatever you're using, use those activity hours, right? Log them. You can join our Strava group. We have a Strava group that is on Strava as Do More Today. And we also have a Spartan Sunday Running Club Strava group as well. So join any of those and just be a part of the movement so we can actually see what you're doing. We can see your progress. And if you do all those things, you will be a part of the movement. Now, your job is, once you sign up, to input your hours on the Run Sign Up website, which again is on the where you register. All you have to do every single day, whatever you do an activity, is to go on, sign in, You put in what you did. If you worked out for 45 minutes, you put 45 minutes in, click the exercise that you did, whether it's running, basketball, swimming, whatever it is, click that and you're done. And you do that for 40 days. And you'll be able to see all the other people who are doing exactly what you're doing, getting that work in, putting that work in, and trying to be the best version of themselves. Now, what we're going to do for Project 40 Mo, Sean, how's it going to be different than Project 40? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. We've read my book. And for those who don't have the book is on Amazon. It's online. It's on our Be More Today page, BeMoreToday.com as well. And I'll have book copies with me for the workouts and for the run on that day on the 28th. But we're taking this basically to the next level. And I haven't written this chapter yet, but this is basically part 2. This is Project 40 Mo. Now you're hearing it for the first time on this podcast. There'll be a book coming out at some point in time, which will have all this information in there. But this is basically the foundation for part 2. And some of you have been asking, Sean, when you write your next book? When's this book going to come out? When? This is basically the foundation for Be More Today, Project 40, number 2 or part 2. And it's called Project 40 More. So 10 phases are going to be what we're going to be doing. 10 phases of our structure is split up in 10 phases, which means since we have 40 days, we'll be doing basically 4 days per phase. And I'm going to have 40 new quotes for you, right? 40 new motivational quotes for us to go through to get us on the move. And the 10 phases, I'll just give you a little preview because I want to give you everything right now. But just so you know what's going to be going on, we're going to progress you through the stages of change. And people apply cognitive, affective, evaluative processes to this. It's 10 processes of change that have been identified, with some processes being more relevant to a specific stage of change than others. This can result in people making a more lasting change. The 40 days was great. We had a kickstart and we were moving, but to really see ongoing change, to really see life-changing change, we have to do 40 more. And the categories for this are going to be split up into 10. The first is consciousness raising, right? Increasing awareness about the healthy behavior. So we were looking at your healthy behavior and just being more aware of it, trying to figure out what it is, how we can be more a part of it, how we can make it more a part of our lives. 2 is going to be dramatic relief, looking at emotional arousal about the health behavior and whether it's positive or negative, right? Because some things when it comes to health can make us scared. They can make us feel not motivated. They can make us feel almost like we don't want to do anything, right? And put us in a shell. It's supposed to bring us out of our shell. We're going to look at that a little bit. Self-reevaluation. The whole thing about Project 40 is that we went through this whole thing and we got through it. But where's the reevaluation? Like anything else you do in life, right? You do stuff and then you have to reevaluate where you were, your progress, how you're doing. We have to do it now with Project 40. We have to go back and figure out where we messed up, where we made mistakes, and be able to reevaluate that and move forward, because self-reappraisal is the way you can recognize healthy behavior as part of who we want to be in the future. Number 4, environmental reevaluation, looking at social reappraisal to realize how our healthy or unhealthy behavior affects others, right? So now we're talking about, if I'm not being healthy, how that affects my daughter or my wife or my mom or the people around me, my patients, right? If I'm not taking care of myself, how can my inability to be healthy affect others around me, either in a positive or a negative way? So that's gonna be a big step. We haven't talked about that at all, but I'm looking forward to that. Social liberation, right? Looking at environmental opportunities that exist to show society is supportive of the healthy behavior. Now, looking at different ways that your community can be something that you bank on to help you be a little more in tune with health. And, there's so many ways that our environments dictate what we do, how we do. We're going to take a look at that. Self-liberation, number 7, right? Number 6, looking at the commitment that we have to change behavior based on the belief that achievement of the healthy behavior is possible. Do you actually believe that doing this challenge is going to help? Because if you don't believe that, you're setting yourself up for failure from the beginning, right? there's so many things we're gonna be talking about and doing and having projects, whatever else. Not intense projects, but just things I'm gonna engage you with for the next 40 days to hopefully self-liberate you to a better place. But if you don't believe you can get there, then that is the opposite of Project 40 More, right? So just think about that. Helping relationships, finding supportive relationships that encourage the desired change. And that may be a friend, an accountability partner, someone who's going to hold you accountable when times get tough, because you already know times are going to get tough. Counter conditioning, substituting healthy behaviors and thoughts for unhealthy behaviors and thoughts, right? So we want to make sure that, look, we have thoughts that we have in our minds and we can't help but think, right? It's just a natural thing. Even if you try not to think, you're thinking. But there has to be a way for us to be able to substitute those negative thoughts for positive ones, so that when the negative thought comes in, switch out with the positive ones, we can move forward to counter condition our bodies for success. Number 9, reinforcement management, rewarding the positive behavior and reducing the rewards that come from negative behavior. So, right, just like Pavlov's law, we need to be in a place where we can condition ourselves mentally to say, you know what, I did well today. Let me reward myself. Or I didn't do well today. Let me not reward myself for this. And I truly believe we do that on a regular basis without even really knowing, right? Thinking we deserve certain things or if we do certain things, etc. But just looking at that for Project 40 More is going to be beneficial to make sure that we're doing the right things to reinforce the positive behavior we're looking for to get the results that we want to get. And then lastly, stimulus control, re-engineering the environment to have reminders and cues that support and encourage the healthy behaviors and remove those that encourage the unhealthy behavior. So just finding ways to make sure that we can change our environment. You know, there's a quote, and it's not a quote really, it's facts, right? That talking about sharks, and you know, sharks can get big. There's sharks everywhere now. We've seen sharks popping up everywhere around New York City and all the pools and the beaches, right? And you know, it's getting kind of scary because sharks are scary, right? And we get weary when we talk about sharks being in open water and protecting ourselves. But they say sharks can't grow bigger than their environment. So if you put a baby shark, in a small fish tank, that shark will not grow bigger than that fish tank. It can't. But you put that shark in the ocean, that shark will grow to be as big as sharks can grow to be. My point in saying to you is that we can control our environment if we re-engineer our environment, because our environment also controls us. And whatever your environment is going to be, whether it's positive or negative, whether it's small and guarded, or whether it's vast and big to facilitate your growth, that's how you're going to succeed. That's how you're going to strive. You keep yourself in a box with all the stipulations, restrictions, you're not going to be able to break through that box to get to be great, to hit your steps to greatness, to be the more that we're looking for this Project 40 More. But if you open up your environment more to be able to be open to trying new things, to trying new challenges, to having new accountability partners, to doing new things that are going to be different from the same things you tried over and over and over again, then that, my friends, is the whole point of Project 40 More. So I encourage you, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up today. Sign up today. My Jag One people, my Spartan Sunday Running Club people, and my Be More Today family. If you've been out there supporting us for the last 3 years, go out there and join this challenge. Get that water bottle that I was sending to you in the mail. Get some of the swag store stuff if you want. My sweatshirt and our gaiters and our running jackets and our hoodies and everything else we have that's in store, right? Get those things and let's just be more together. And again, if you need the book or want the book, you haven't read it yet, the book is, again, a great precursor to this. If you missed Project 40, you can definitely read Project 40 in line or in parallel with this to re-enhance the process that we're looking to do. I truly believe that we can do great things. We put our minds to those things. And our quote from today, again, just concludes with that. Build upon strengths and weaknesses will gradually take care of themselves. Not focus on the weaknesses. We can talk about the starts and the stops and the goals, right? We're not focusing on the weak things. We know what we're weak at. We know those things. Let's focus on being stronger. Build upon the strengths, and the weaknesses will gradually take care of themselves. So that is all I have for episode 99 of this season 3 of the Be More Today show. Again, I appreciate all of you so much. If you want to send me information or questions directly, you can email me directly at drshawn@bemoretoday.com, and continue to like us on all of our social media platforms. Again, the Be More Today show is heard in 63 countries, 22,000 downloads, and you can hear us on your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. I appreciate all of you so much. You have no idea how proud I am that this podcast has grown. There's a point in time where I was like, oh, what are we doing? Like, who's even listening to me talk, on this thing? 20,000 or 20 people are listening, and 20 turned to 40, and 40 turned to 60, and 60 turned to 600. 600 turned to 1,000, and we've been now at 22,000 downloads and growing, and hitting show downloads of on average 600, 800, 1,000 a week. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the fact that people are out there who want to be more, and I'm grateful as a physical therapist to be able to share my platform in a way that who knew I was going to do. It's funny because I think about I took a public speaking class in high school, and I got 3rd place for this competition, and I was ecstatic because there was such a period of my life where I was like, people say, "Oh, Shawn, you're so quiet, you're so quiet, you're so quiet," but when I'm talking about things that I like, or that I'm proud of, or that I believe in, or people that I like, or I'm proud of, or I believe in, I can't keep quiet. I can't shut up, to be honest. And someone told me a long time ago that words are powerful, so use them wisely. So I choose to use my words very wisely. There's sometimes where I'm quiet, I don't say a word, and people are talking all around me. I just kind of keep to myself because I'm like, words are very important. And if I don't feel like sharing words at an important time, it's because of that. But when I have this platform, this podcast, there's so much that I've learned to share, and I will continue to share as we begin our journey for Project 40 Mo. After the 100th episode that you're going to be able to hear after this one. So check out that episode now with the CEO of Jag1, John Gallucci Jr., dynamic guy. Check him out and listen to that podcast today if you can. And get ready as we start on August 1st, Project 40 Mo, 40 days, 40 more days with the board, Dr. Shawn Thomas here, as we hit this new thing and begin the audio process of my soon coming book, Project 40 More, which is the sequel to the Be More Today book that I wrote about 3 years ago. So as always, folks, check us out on BeMoreToday.com for our swag store, the podcast, and again, send your thoughts to me directly, Dr. Shawn at BeMoreToday.com. And as I always say, have a good day, have a good night, have a great life, and continue to take your steps of greatness to be the best version of you. I'll see you next week.